The actual possibility of being able to bring about any kind of change is the part that I find most exciting. Changes that I believe should take place, but not changes that are extremely radical in nature. While attending official banquets, they smiled and posed for photographs together. The changes that have taken place within the royal family following the shift of authority are frequently the focus of allegations that there is a growing tension behind the palace doors. Among the topics that are frequently brought up for discussion are the issues that pertain to the Duchy of Cornwall, which is a private estate that has historically been handled by the Prince of Wales. It was not only a transfer of assets that occurred when Prince William took control of the duchy when his father ascended to the throne, it was also a change in the manner in which the duchy was managed. When there is a change in leadership, particularly over an estate of such magnitude and financial significance, it is reasonable to anticipate that the existing positions and contracts will be reviewed. It may be necessary to make adjustments to personnel or advisory positions as part of the process of bringing operations into alignment with new priorities. According to a number of accounts, those who had been involved with the duchy during the time that the former Prince of Wales was in office did not continue to hold the same duties following his departure. Commentators have viewed these developments as a move toward a different approach, which might perhaps emphasize professional independence and a clearer separation between operations of the firm and ties with family members. On the other hand, it is essential to take into consideration that the duchy does not disclose the specifics of its internal employment decisions to the public. As a consequence of this, a significant portion of the story of certain persons or purported terminations originates from sources that cannot be validated or from conjecture in the media rather than official confirmation. It is common practice to frame conversations on these trends within the context of a more general topic, generational change. It is widely anticipated that Prince William will bring a more contemporary and streamlined approach to the management of the royal family, notably in issues pertaining to finances, public responsibility, and the efficiency of institutions. There is a possibility that this will naturally result in a different style in comparison to the years before. When attempting to analyze these processes, historical context is also commonly presented as a factor. There are a number of well-documented incidents from the past that have had a significant impact on the ties that exist within the royal family. These events include highly publicized personal challenges. Despite the fact that these experiences may have an effect on perspectives, the interactions that are currently taking place between members of the family are typically presented in public in a manner that is cooperative and polite. There is a tendency for speculation to rely on anonymous sources and retrospective interpretation when it comes to deeper personal problems or long-standing animosity. Considering that such assertions frequently combine reality and speculation, it is important to treat them with caution in the absence of actual confirmation. Another thing that may be recognized with greater certainty is that the Duchy of Cornwall is responsible for a substantial amount of financial and administrative responsibility. The decisions that are taken about its management bear both practical and symbolic weight, and provide insight into how the future of the monarchy may develop under the leadership of new individuals. In this setting, any apparent changes are less about unexpected conflict and more about the slow reconfiguration of roles, priorities, and boundaries inside an institution that has been around for centuries and is adapting to the expectations of modern society. As a result of their continued devotion to Diana, they experienced feelings of mistrust and anger. Neither of them ever felt at ease when it came to discussing their emotions with her. Author Angela Levin, who specializes in royal affairs, made the observation that Prince William does not consider Camilla to be his step-grandmother. The only thing that comes to his mind about her is that she is his father's wife. From William's point of view, this indicates that George, Charlotte, and Louis do not have any emotional connection to her. She is nothing more than a random occurrence in their life. During their adolescent years, the princes allegedly called Camilla titles such as Lady Macbeth, Cruella de Vil, and the Wicked Witch of the West. This information comes from Tom Quinn, an author who specializes in royal family history. The fact that they chose these names demonstrates that they did not readily embrace her as a stepmother, which highlights their frustration and anguish. Over the course of time, William was able to find a way to collaborate with Camilla, particularly considering the fact that they both supported their spouses while they were undergoing treatment for cancer. According to Hilary Fordwich, a specialist on the royal family, Prince William has developed an appreciation for Camilla's sense of duty, and the two of them have become closer as a result of the similarities in their lives. However, trust is not synonymous with being bonded. Recent happenings have made this very evident. In spite of the fact that William had a prior dislike for Camilla, the two of them had become close due to the fact that they were both concerned about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. However, their relationship is exhibiting symptoms of tension once more. Having a common enemy that brought them together is no longer sufficient. At the point that Camilla's activities started to have an effect not just on Charles but also on Kate, William's position became more solid. In the event that Annabel Elliott's firing was a business choice, the subsequent events were personal. Kate and Camilla were the source of the stress that caused William to lose his patience. When William's life becomes more intimate, the situation takes a more serious turn. When the year 2025 came to a close, there were rumors that Queen Camilla and Princess Kate were having a disagreement. However, insiders claimed that they were not as close as they appeared to be in public. The tension, according to one individual who spoke with the Examiner, made things difficult for everyone involved. Despite the fact that Camilla is naturally possessive and irritated, she has been quite kind and sympathetic to Kate throughout the current difficulties she has been experiencing. It irritates her that people have the misconception that the Waleses are incapable of doing anything wrong and that Kate can act in any way she chooses. According to accounts, the conflict became more intense during an occasion attended by the royal family, when Camilla displayed obvious signs of anger. Her actions in public, which included shoving Kate away and snapping, was out of line and irritated William, according to a source which recounted the situation. His stepmother's disregard for his wife is putting that relationship to the test once more, despite the fact that his relationship with his stepmother has improved over the years. Despite the fact that William is able to deal with his tangled relationship with Camilla, he is unable to tolerate anyone, including Camilla, showing contempt to Kate. The protective nature that he possesses is powerful and non-negotiable. In the course of a recent state visit, the tension became quite obvious. It felt like a competition with every action and every color decision that was made. It was Kate who was the recipient of the attention, which Camilla did not find to her satisfaction. Different ways in which William and Kate interacted with Camilla were observed by those who follow the royal family. While Catherine received her with a curtsy, William welcomed her with merely 2 quick kisses on the cheek, eschewing the niceties that were expected of him. This was an important declaration that was made in public view inside the realm of royal institutions. A note was taken by the palace. Media outlets took notice. It is possible that Camilla, who is adept at interpreting circumstances, also observed. The spotlight has once again returned to Andrew Parker Bowles. Within the context of the difficulties that exist between Queen Camilla and Prince William, the narrative takes an unexpected turn when Brigadier Andrew Parker Bowles, who was formerly married to Queen Camilla, reappears in the public eye. Parker Bowles, who is 86 years old and a retired officer in the British Army, maintains his connection to the royal family, notably Princess Anne. They had been friends for many years, and in 1981, and designated Parker Bowles the godfather of her daughter, Zara Tindall. This event marked the beginning of their special relationship. This connection survives to this day. Through his attendance at a memorial service for Field Marshal Lord Guthrie, which he attended in the beginning of 2026 on behalf of Princess Anne, he made headlines. After a lengthy and complicated chapter that began before Camilla's eventual involvement within the royal family, Andrew Parker Bowles and Camilla officially divorced in 1995. This marked the end of the chapter. In spite of the fact that they are no longer together, his ongoing attendance at particular public events has occasionally garnered attention. This is mostly due to the fact that he has maintained lasting relationships inside royal and military circles. His previous relationships, which include ties to senior royals and traditional organizations, are illustrative of the fact that personal histories can remain intricately entwined via the presence of such an environment. Observers frequently make the observation that these overlapping relationships are illustrative of a more general reality. Within the realm of the royal family, personal and historical connections are rarely completely eradicated. Even while responsibilities and titles change throughout time, they continue to have an impact on how people see things. During more recent conversations, the focus has been on reports of decisions regarding estate planning that are attributed to Camilla. There are assertions that suggest that the property that is associated with her, which she independently acquired in the 1990s, has been transferred or organized in a manner that ensures it is protected for her children. These kinds of arrangements are not uncommon in general, and they are especially common for people who are managing their own assets later in life. When it comes to inheritance planning, it is usual practice to make use of legal instruments such as powers of attorney or asset transfers in order to guarantee continuity and clarity. However, exact facts of any such transfer, such as ownership structures or timing, have not been publicly confirmed by sources that are considered to be authoritative. When it comes to the royal family's private finances, there is a limited amount of information that can be validated, and a significant portion of the material that is disseminated to the public is based on reports that cannot be independently checked. Many interpretations of these statements present them in a strategic light, implying that they are being made in preparation for potential future events within the monarchy. This encompasses the notion that the maintenance of privately managed property has the potential to provide personal independence despite of changes in institutional structures. Given that this viewpoint is feasible in a general sense, it is important to use caution when applying it to specific individuals in the absence of data that has been substantiated. While this is going on, the commentary that is being made regarding Prince William's future approach to the monarchy typically places an emphasis on productivity and modernization. His acts, particularly in respects to estate management and public tasks, are frequently regarded as indications of a more streamlined structure, with clearer boundaries between official responsibilities and extended family connections. This is especially the case in areas relating to estate administration. In other cases, these interpretations give rise to conjecture over the possible existence of different agendas among senior members of the royal family. When it comes to workload, public visibility, and long-term planning, for instance, these are all topics that can be viewed as potential sources of stress. On the other hand, it is essential to acknowledge that these narratives are mostly formed via indirect reporting and should not be regarded as definitive representations of intimate interactions. Another thing that can be understood with greater certainty is that the monarchy is currently going through a time of change. Its future is heavily dependent on the answers to questions concerning its structure, roles, and the appropriate balance between modernization and tradition. The decisions that are made about property, obligations, and public image all have a role in determining the shape that the future will possess. A significant portion of the more dramatic interpretation, particularly with reference to combat or strategic maneuvering, continues to be speculative, just as it was in the sections that came before it. When evaluating assertions of this nature, it is necessary to differentiate between advances that have been validated and narrative framing. The palace is concerned about the disagreements that have arisen between William and Camilla on the manner in which King Charles ought to handle his responsibilities. William is of the opinion that Charles' health is in jeopardy, and he is not pleased with Camilla's backing of the concept that he should continue to put in a lot of effort. It is William's perception that Camilla is promoting this concept rather than safeguarding the king, and this causes him to feel upset. Christopher Anderson, a specialist on royal matters, argues that William is able to accept his stepmother and that he believes she is a little uncomfortable around him. Although he believes that Camilla's position within the monarchy may be re-evaluated after William is crowned king, he believes that she will most likely continue to take part in a number of royal functions. This is a really significant point. As a result of certain engagements, she will not play a predominant role. She is not going to be a queen dowager who has complete authority and privilege with her. The new king will decide whether or not she will be involved in the situation. It is not the case that Queen Camilla receives a separate annual stipend. Through the sovereign grant, she is able to get funding. This indicates that the institution that functions under the authority of the monarch is the source of her financial support as a working royal. William is going to be in charge of this money once he becomes king. William has a vision of a monarchy that is made more efficient. He wants there to be fewer senior royals working for the public sector and more stringent regulations about who can gain from connecting with the royal family. Especially for those who are not members of the royal family by blood, he wants to make it quite apparent that merely being linked to the royal family does not guarantee a position. Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez, who are Camilla's children, have never held a position of employment inside the royal family. They have, nevertheless, benefited from social advantages as a result of their proximity to the crown. Even those advantages might become less advantageous under William's rule. When there is no turning back. Where do we go from here? We are in a precarious situation. Decisions have been made in this matter. There has been a change of ownership here. There has been a disagreement with the sister. The omissions from the procedure have been recorded. Based on the reports, it appears that William and Camilla's relationship is experiencing significant difficulties. Now, many royal observers believe that it has reached a point where there is no turning back. In William's eyes, Camilla is comparable to Prince Harry, his brother with whom he has a falling out. Individual who has evolved into a rival rather than a supporter of the cause. This is a major change in the situation. This demonstrates that Camilla is no longer someone who can be managed by diplomatic means alone. It is necessary to manage her with greater caution, to restrict her activities, and to gradually marginalize her. The circumstance that Camilla is in is ironic. She endured public censure for the affair that led to the dissolution of Diana's marriage for a number of years. William and Harry were hostile toward her, and she had to deal with their protests. Slowly but surely, she reconstructed her image. She was crowned Queen Consort, she became Queen Consort, and she won public acceptance, which was in the past thought to be impossible. The same young man who formerly referred to her as Cruella de Vil is now on the verge of becoming king, despite the fact that Charles is currently battling cancer and the future of the monarchy is drawing near. Also, he is able to recall everything. According to a new book written by a royal expert, there are rumors that Prince William was having second thoughts about joining the royal family. Uncertainty persists on the nature of those second thoughts. It would indicate that William is re-evaluating the degree of independence that Camilla enjoys as well as the manner in which she was appointed to the position of queen. This re-evaluation may soon result in the formulation of new policies. It is expected that the palace would continue to put on a favorable portrayal. In an effort to demonstrate their friendliness, they will organize public appearances and host state banquets. It is their typical method of operation. On the other hand, things run differently behind the scenes. When it comes to properties and protocol, the decisions that are currently being made mark the beginning of a new age. William will be the one to set the rules for this age, not Charles's preferences. Camilla made an effort to be proactive. As a result of her understanding of the dynamics at play, she transferred property. Now, the most important question is whether or if these actions will be sufficient. Those of you who are still interested are aware that this narrative is not yet complete. A generational shift is currently taking place within the monarchy, and those who are close to the throne are already making adjustments to their positions. In the comments section, please share your ideas. In the event that William becomes king, do you believe he would implement additional reforms? Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell if it has provided you with something to think about. We discuss the things that the palace would rather keep a secret. I will see you again soon.